I recently read an article in Harvard Business Review. The title is What Makes a Leader, and it is written by Daniel Goleman in 1998. And this article is also included and republished in 10 must read series of Harvard Business Review. So this article answers a very specific question, that what distinguishes an outstanding leader from an ordinary one. Because you have heard of a person with extraordinary IQ, but he failed in leadership position, and another person with solid IQ but not extraordinary, but he succeeded in leadership. This article says that the leadership is more art than science, and different types of situations require different types of leadership. For example, mergers require leadership with negotiating skills, and turnarounds require authoritative leadership. IQ and technical skills are just threshold and entry level requirements for executive positions. But once you get to that position, then you need emotional intelligence to grow in ranks. So this emotional intelligence is the main focus of this article. And emotional intelligence is not only important for the leadership, but I also think that emotional intelligence is important for everyone. So emotional intelligence has 5 components. First 3 components are related to managing yourself, that is self-awareness, self-regulation and motivation. And last 2 components are related to managing your relationships with people, that is empathy and social skill. So empathy means awareness of the emotional makeup of others, and social skill means regulating the emotions of others to steer them towards your goals. So these 5 components are very important for leadership positions, and also in life for everyone. Now, top level organizations have developed competence models to identify likely stars in their employees for leadership positions. And writer has analyzed the competence models of 188 organizations, and these competence models are built around the traits of existing outstanding leaders in these organizations. So writer has categorized these leadership traits into 3 categories, that is technical skills, cognitive abilities and emotional intelligence. And he has found out that emotional intelligence is twice important than other 2 skills. For example, working with others and effectiveness in leading change. And once he compared the profile of outstanding leaders with the ordinary one, he found out that the 90% differences in their profiles were attributed to the level of emotional intelligence. And this emotional intelligence is required more in higher ranks. He says that cognitive abilities are also very important for setting the goals. And these cognitive abilities include your intellect, seeing the big picture, and long-term strategic thinking. But once you set a goal, then you need emotional intelligence to work with people to reach your goals once you are at a leadership position. Technical skills are not that important for leadership positions like IT, accounting, or business continuity planning, and many more. Writer further referred to a study conducted in 1996 by David McClelland, who was a human and organizational behavior researcher. And this researcher has found out that the divisions outperformed 20% and also underperformed 20% based upon the emotional intelligence of their divisional head. So this study concluded that the organization's success is attributed to the level of emotional intelligence of its leadership. Now, first component of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, that is managing yourself. So you should know yourself, your emotions, your strength, your weaknesses, what drives you, what are your values, and your goals in life. People with high level of self-awareness carries out realistic self-assessment, so neither they are too hopeful nor too hopeless. And they can analyze the impact of others on their mood and impact of their moods and emotions on work. And they can speak openly about their emotions. Such people are very proactive and they plan ahead of worse situations. For example, if someone thinks that tight timelines bring worse in him, then he plans his activity ahead of time. Such people are very confident and they have a self-deprecated sense of humor, and they accept constructive criticism, and they don't shy away from seeking help from others. Since such people know their values and goals, therefore they are not tempted by the opportunities which are not aligned with their values, and they don't overstretch and take calculative risk. Sometimes such people are criticized for not being tough. However, if a person can assess his abilities well, then he can also assess the capabilities of his organization and can make good judgment calls once he is in leadership position. Now, second component of emotional intelligence is self-regulation, that is also related to self-management. So in first component, that is self-awareness, we found out about ourselves, and now we are going to regulate our emotions. So it is to redirect your biological impulses which are affecting you in a negative manner. So this is a continuous self-talk which you carry out with yourself. People with high level of self-regulation stay non-reactive to negative emotions and pulses, and therefore they have an integrity of their behavior. They have a serving mentality, and therefore in order to serve people they are comfortable with ambiguity, change, and they also handle any unforeseen situation very well. And in case of any unforeseen situation, they suspend their judgment, seek more information, listen fully to understand the perspective of people and the anxiety behind the worries of others. Then they self-experience, analyze the reasons of failure and think possible approaches. Then they explain consequences to their team, explore solutions with their teams. And finally, they decide objectively as per their goals and values. So such reasonability in the leadership creates an environment of trust, fairness and productivity. And the employees and their talent retain in the organization. Furthermore, if a leader can regulate his emotions, then fewer bad moods at top means fever throughout the organization. Such people don't jump on incentives which are against their value, and they stay regulated and loyal as per their values and goals in life. Therefore, they have a long-lasting relationship with their organization and also with their customers. Sometimes such people are criticized for lack of passion, since they regulate their emotions and stay calm. Because classical leadership is thought to be temperamental. However, it is found that extreme display of negative emotions is never good in long term. Now, third component of emotional intelligence is motivation, which is also managing your own self. Virtually all leaders have this motivation that they have a purpose in life and they are optimistic and very passionate to achieve beyond expectation. And they have no greed for external reward but only passion for the work. And they are excited about creative challenges and take pride in their jobs. So people with high motivation are relentless, energetic, and always try to find out better ways of doing their job, and they don't set for mediocrity or any easy goal, and they keep track of their progress as per their overall goal. Such people are sometimes stretched by their bosses, but they stay loyal to the organization which has made their work and job possible. Such people set higher bar for themselves and also for their team, and their behavior and motivation is very contagious, and it spreads and they gather a team of similar traits. Such people are motivated to take responsibilities, and they take obstacles as challenge, as an opportunity to grow and to learn from their failures. Now, first three components, that is self-awareness, self-regulation and motivation, are related to managing yourself, and last two components, that is empathy and social skills, are related to managing your relationships with people. So empathic leadership considers the feelings of their employees and their perspective while making decisions. So it doesn't mean they adopt to the feelings of others or try to please everyone, but they make objective decisions. Empathy is most easily recognized trait in leadership, and it should be our natural response in social interactions. So empathy is not only important for the leaders, but it is also important for everyone, because everyone has to interact with people. Globalization of businesses has highlighted the need of empathy to understand the cross-culture ethnic differences. This article narrates an incident of a Japanese client in which a US company was pitching a project to a Japanese client, and that client remained silent throughout the meeting. All the team members thought that they are losing the job, but their team leader read the body language of that Japanese client and continued and finally got the job. Empathy is very important for mentoring and coaching. So first you have to listen to others, their entire perspective, and you don't interrupt. So people are more open once you listen to them. Furthermore, once you advise someone, then you have to observe the people reaction. So leaders with empathy can build consensus on their initiatives and can gather collaboration with the people and therefore expand their businesses. So empathic people know when to praise their team, when to push and when to hold back. So they are morale booster for their team and organization. And their undercommands and employees are more satisfied, and therefore talent retains in their team. Such empathic people are sometimes criticized for not making hard decisions, but they contribute in subtle but very important ways for long-term sustainability of the organization. Now, final component of emotional intelligence is social skill. It is to manage your relationship with the people. So leaders are really mean-spirited and they have good social skills because they believe that nothing is done alone or leadership is no Iceland. So social skill is the culmination of previous 4 components of emotional intelligence, and it is to put these 4 components into practice. So people with social skills build relationships with everyone with higher purpose, and they are expert in expressing their empathy and passion to their team and organization, and their motivation spreads to the team, and they are very contagious, and their team performs better. Such people are excellent persuader, and they know when their emotional plea will work because they can regulate themselves and they can understand the emotions of others through empathy, and therefore they can move people to their desirous goal once they are in leadership positions. Such people can build cooperation, find common grounds, and build social networks. Sometimes such people are criticized for not working, for example, chatting with the people. But since they build relationships with higher purpose and they know that anyone can be helpful someday. There is an example of a person who was working in a computer manufacturing company, and through his cognitive abilities he saw the future of his company was with the internet, and then he gathered the support within the organization from his colleagues and different departments and established a website and took part in an annual internet convention. The management took notice of his effort and he was put in charge of an internet division. Now, the final question is how we can learn emotional intelligence. So it is found out that genes are very important, and some people have emotional intelligence by birth, and some people can learn emotional intelligence with their nurturing and experiences in life. Because our limbic brain handles our emotions, and therefore it handles with emotional intelligence, and our neocortex brain handles our IQ, technical skills, concepts and logics. So most of the training programs on emotional intelligence focuses on rational brain, that is neocortex. Therefore such programs are very ineffective, because if you don't have the genes and you don't have the nurturing, then you need individualized approach to learn emotional intelligence with right mindset, motivation, extended practice, getting the feedback on your practice, repeat it again and again, and this is a time-taking process. So what we can do is, you can observe the top CEOs, how they behave, and then you can role play different exercises where you can listen carefully first to the people and understand their perspective by not interrupting, and then you can get the feedback on your behavior and further optimize your response, and then you can repeat it again and again until this emotional intelligence becomes part of your identity. This was all. Thank you.